Hi. In this tutorial, we will learn how to output a job to your CNC machine. This is a simple process, but there are quite a few options that can be useful. Before we output the job, let's review the steps we've done to get the job ready. First, we drew the part. We could have also imported parts from another CAD program as a DXF file. Then we added the tool paths with the desired depths, multiple passes, and feed rates. Next, we arranged the parts on a sheet, in this case, a 2x2 array. After that, we added screw-down points to keep the part secure during cutting. Finally, we arranged the cut order so that the screw holes were drilled first, and the parts were cut in an efficient order and in the correct direction. Now it's time to export the CNC file in G-code format. To do this, we click on the ToolShop logo, which is actually the file menu in the top left corner. Then we select Output to Machine. We'll need to select a folder to output the file to. If you're using a networked CNC machine, you could choose to send it to a network drive that resides on the machine. You could also send the file to another location for retrieval by the CNC controller. Or, if you use a USB drive to transfer files, you could write the file directly to that. In this case, I'm going to save the file to my local hard drive. I find it useful to save jobs to a folder with the date for each day or week. This way, you can easily find them later. Once I have selected the destination folder and given the output file a name, we can click Save. This brings up the Output dialog box. The first thing you'll notice is the range selection options. If you have previously selected only a part of the job, you can use the first option to output only the selected parts of the job. If you have multiple sheets in your current job, the second option allows you to output only the parts on the currently visible sheet. The third option will output all parts on all sheets. If you have only one sheet in the job, then you will get a single file with the name you entered previously. However, if you have multiple sheets in the job, then you'll get a number of individual files with the name you chose, with a number after each file name to denote the sheet number. Next, we have the option to adjust the cut order again. I highly recommend getting the cut order correct before outputting. However, this is a last-minute opportunity to make final adjustments to the cut order. Below the cut order panel is the printing panel. This panel provides options to print part labels, nest reports, sheet stock labels, and also labels to track any remnant offcuts. Printing requires suitable label and page printers, and each type of print needs to be configured before we can use it. We'll learn about printing in a later tutorial. For now, we'll skip over this section. You also have the option to save any remnant offcuts back to the material library for later use. This requires the use of rail cuts, which we'll also discuss in a later tutorial. Finally, we have the option to preview the CNC code after it is generated. This can be good for initial verification of the code, but after a while you tend to leave this option off. This time, I'll leave it turned on so you can see the file that is created. Once I click Export, the G-code files are created and saved with the location and name that you selected earlier. Here we have the file preview. You can see that I named it a flange demo. You can see the header information in this file, which is formatted for an ART CNC machine. It clearly states the material type and dimensions, and correctly outputs the geometry for the machine to follow, along with any tooling information required. I hope this has been useful for you. Please subscribe to the channel for more videos.